Hola, hola, muy bien. Welcome back. It's episode 19 of Rich and Ben, the Sober Men, the podcast. But I'm not sure who I'm chatting. It's usually Rich I'm chatting to, me old mucker. But is this David Dickinson, eh? Let's go to auction, Bobby Dazzler. Rich, you're looking so well. How is your little break, mate?
Mate, it was wonderful. So me and Jem got married a year and a half ago, and we've not been able, because of scheduling and work schedules, we've not been able to have a honeymoon. So we finally had a honeymoon. I've been away. We did a little Greek island hop.
Oh.
We were on a lovely cruise ship, and we went to Santorini and Mykonos and Malta. I know that's not a Greek island, but we finished off through Malta and then into Barcelona and Rhodes. It was lovely. We sat out in the sun. We had a wonderful time. It was lovely. But yeah, I look quite sun-kissed, don't I? I didn't realise until I turned the screen on. Thank you very much.
You're looking as good as ever, pal. You're looking very
mate.
good. And is it weird? Like we worked on a cruise ship together in our drinking days. My God, was it kind of weird going on as a passenger, having that side of the experience, knowing what's kind of going on behind closed doors?
Well, it was because I've obviously, as I said this to Jem, actually, I've never done a cruise as a passenger. I did the contracts with you, and I did another long contract, and then I've been guest entertaining on cruise ships like off and on for the last few years. So I've always been like, you always feel like you're on show. So whenever you walk out, if you've done the show and people sort of recognize you, you have to kind of you have to be looking smart, and you have to kind of like talk to people. But if you don't want to talk to anyone, you don't have to. Yeah. And like you can wear your flip flops in the buffet. You can do what you want without getting told off. So it was really nice just to be anonymous and just really enjoy this lovely cruise that we had, and we had a lovely honeymoon. But it was quite interesting. Tell me your thoughts on this. Like, I don't make a habit of like looking at men in the public bathrooms, right? But I just got to tell you this story. Just tell me what you think, right, about bathroom etiquette. So we're at the airport, and I'll go into the toilet, and then like there's a few urinals that are free. And I'm like, okay, I like to use a cubicle. I don't like to sort of be out in amongst it. I like to just use a cubicle, do my business, get out. But I thought, they were busy, so there was a urinal free. But the urinal next to me, there was a guy there. Now, I'm all for like, being free. And it's like when you've got your trousers down, you feel a bit exposed and a bit vulnerable. So it's like a cat, isn't it? A cat always protects its stomach so it doesn't feel too vulnerable, right? Yeah. So when you're sort of standing there and you're doing your business, you're like, you kind of want to get it done, nobody talks. But I walked in, and this guy, he had his trousers down by his knees. He had his T-shirt up around his shoulder blades, holding it with his elbows, doing his business. So it's kind of the middle third of him was completely naked. So like you could see his bum, you could see the top of his legs, and you could see his back all the way up to his shoulder blades. And
it's like a urine-based human trifle.
Yeah, so I was like, what an interesting way to kind of, relieve
That's
yourself.
Crazy.
And he was there for ages. And then, I was just in my profiterole vision. He was having a really good shake, a good old clean up, and then just took ages to like pull his trousers up, pull his T-shirt, tuck himself in. He did wash his hands. And I just thought, what an interesting way to begin your holiday by going to the bathroom like that. I mean, I'm all for, variety and stuff, but I just thought that was just I've never seen that.
I've
in
never
a bathroom
seen that.
before.
Like
No.
I've seen, blokes with their, trousers at half mast, and, and in toilets as well, was it?
Yeah.
But yeah, the holding the T-shirt up simultaneously, that's like
with his
unreal,
elbows
isn't it?
under his shoulder blades. It was just really interesting. So, I mean, shout out to him.
Was he pissed?
No, that's what I mean. That's what I thought. I thought, he must be drunk. I mean, there was a few stag parties waiting to go, and I thought they were quite merry. But he didn't seem drunk. I just thought, well, he's obviously that's just his process. Let him get on with it. And I didn't question him about it. I just thought, listen, hey, you do you and all that. And
Well, Rich, I think if I tried that, it could be very messy. I think there'd be stuff flying everywhere. So I definitely won't be going down that route. But that is, my goodness,
bonkers.
That's a first.
Yeah, real bonkers. But so that kind of started off.
Oh, God,
it was good.
That's funny, man. But it was a good break. You feel recharged and kind of ready to go for the summer.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, I at the time we were away, it was absolutely boiling hot in the UK as well, and I know that people were really struggling, but. We would just count ourselves lucky because we had access to a swimming pool and the sea and all that kind of stuff. And it was nice. We were in Malta, and I saw an advert for some food, and it was for a croast. You ever heard of a croast? Do you know what that is?
No.
Mate,
Croast.
it's a cross between a croissant and toast, and it's a croast.
In Malta,
in Malta, and I thought, and I didn't have it. Like I literally just had a coffee, and I thought I should try that, shouldn't I? But I just thought I'm going to tell Ben about that. I just thought I'd never seen that before, croast, and I wondered if it was like a Maltese delicacy or something. But yeah, never heard of it. But I thought, what an interesting two pieces of like yeast binded together, and it's a croast, croissant and toast. Together.
What with the croast and the guy pissing, holding up his t-shirt, you're experiencing all sorts, pal.
Yeah,
it's like a whole new world out there.
I know, but yes, suffice to say, it was a wonderful. I mean, my plan was I took some gym stuff because I thought, you know what, going on holiday, it was a buffet. There was like a lot of food to be had.
God, and the food is good, isn't it? God.
But I thought to myself, if I go out there and I take my gym stuff, I can still work on my abs and stuff. I mean, I can't remember the last time I did actually work on my abs. I don't know why I thought we're going on holiday, I should start doing that. But I didn't put that gym kit on once. We did a lot of walking though. We did a lot when we walked 2 to 4 hours a day because walking around all the old towns and stuff. So it was, mate, fully rested, fully reset, fully recharged. Lovely honeymoon. And how was your time whilst I was away?
Really good, but it was rocket, like scorchio. It's been warm, my goodness. And the World Cup's been flying. England are doing, we've qualified, which is good. I'm sure you've been following it, Rich. But and interestingly, it was Sunday morning. So I stayed up for the first 2 group games, but I was so tired the next day. And it was a late kick-off for the England-Panama game. So I thought, no, get to bed. I was up in my van at 5:30 on the Sunday morning. But Rich, it must have been about 5:45. Pulled up at some traffic lights in my little van morning after the England game. And I thought on the Saturday, I was like, my God, people are going to be pissed today. They're going to be all day drinking, watching the game into the Sunday morning, doing God knows what. Yeah. And I was like, so grateful to get into bed. Even though I was missing the game, which I was properly gutted, I was like, oh man, but I just had to think, I've got to be on it for work. And I was so pleased I was just getting into bed sober. I was like, oh my God. And then, sure enough, about 5:45 at set of traffic lights, this car pulled up. So I was heading one way, it was heading towards me, but we was both stopped at traffic lights. I could see him. And he looked so rough, this guy.
Really?
And I thought, I bet I know how I bet he's feeling rough. I bet he had a late night. I bet he looked like he'd been on the beers. You can just tell. I remember that feeling of like being not still drunk, but like thinking, God, and this is awful, but am I actually okay to drive? Like, when your blood is like fueled with alcohol, and it's like still fizzing away, and you just feel like dog. And it was a warm morning as well, and I really felt for him. And I thought, oh God, and you know what he did, Rich? He sprayed himself with deodorant.
Oh, really?
And that's what triggered it, because I thought,
you knew.
I thought, is he trying to hide that smell but is he off to work or off to see his family and trying to hide that smell? Because I remember driving into work numerous occasions, like constantly checking my breath, thinking, oh God, please God, may I not smell of alcohol. I don't want to I don't want the shame of giving the game away. And I just thought, there we go. And I felt really sorry for him, because he was probably in a world of pain if he was heading to work feeling like dog shit. And mate, we've been there, haven't we? So it was just not overly impressed with England boys, but we're warming up hopefully. But I was so pleased again, just another little trigger, Rich, of seeing somebody and feeling for them and thinking, God, that used to be me. And, simultaneously just feeling so grateful that I literally do not have to worry about that anymore. So that was a real kind of interesting thing, really. And also just, I know you're probably a man of the tip, as am I. I do like a little tip run. Rita's often like, right, can you get to the tip? I'm like, oh God. I think my record's like 3 visits in one day. They're lovely chaps up there. But anyway, I was getting rid of something, and I had to go to garden waste, and they have like compartments, don't they? Like cardboard, plasterboard, home devices, that kind of thing. And then in garden waste, usually in brackets behind, it's like grass cuttings, branches, soil, rocks. And then in the same bracket was Japanese knotweed.
It's dangerous.
No, but I was like, what the fuck is Japanese knotweed? I was like, not once in my life have I said to Rita, oh, how's the Japanese knotweed doing in the garden? I was like, what is that? And is it does it belong in what is it? Is it like overgrowth stuff?
I think, listen, I don't know a lot about it. I don't know a lot about gardening, but I believe if you get that, it can be really like detrimental to like buildings and like foundations and that kind of stuff. I think it can be like, it's
like
quite
claw onto your brickwork.
Really difficult to get rid of, I think. So I think it's a specific type that you have to put separate to everything else, because I think it can be, I believe, listeners, please write in, inform us. We like to learn from you. But yeah, I believe that it can be quite detrimental to your property if you get it, if you get it. And it has to, I have a feeling it has to be removed by a specialist. I don't know if you can remove it yourself, like only because it's so difficult to get rid of. Like,
maybe your mate at Boyle's Jet Washing could branch out. Talking the world of Japanese knotweed, knotweed.
The Boyle's Jet Washing, though. Just quick sidebar: we had a message from Kyle Eberline.
Hey, Kyle.
And I'm going to swear now, so forgive my French. And the message purely said, fuck you for introducing me to Boyle's Jet Washing. I cannot stop watching his videos. They're amazing.
He's got another follower there, hasn't he?
Shout out to Kyle.
It's the therapeutic bliss of the world of the jet wash, isn't it?
That's what it is. Yeah.
So, yeah, well, thank you. Because I was literally scratching my head. I was like, and I've got dodgy eyesight, but literally I was like, Japanese? No, I've never heard of it in my life. So that's from the tip. But then over to my earlier in the day, over to my lovely start to the a Saturday is my park walk. But I hadn't done it for ages, and I thought I'm going to push myself this week, Rich, and obviously watch my knees. So I plodded it, and it was fantastic. Felt good, slow as anything, but who cares? It was just doing it. It was lovely. But again, I say to anyone who's looking to get into a bit of fitness, any of our listeners or viewers, just give it a go. There's no pressure. Like, you're not racing against anyone. It's just yourself. And anyway, I was there. It felt great. Saturday morning, lovely vibe, real joyful vibe. It's such a, smile-inducing, feel-good, vibe at Park Run. And there was a girl there with her family, and she had, I work at the 100 on the cricket, Rich. I'm a stadium announcer, as you know. And one of the teams I work on is Birmingham Phoenix, which is based in Birmingham, obviously. They play at Edgbaston in the 100. But yeah, and she had a Birmingham Phoenix shirt on. And I thought, I really wanted to ask her, like, does she go? And, how does she see them, faring this year in the tournament? And I just thought, in the past, I would have not even gone there because I would have been feeling shit. Just wanted to sweat out the Fosters from the night before in Park Run and just feel lethargic for the whole day. But I thought, I'm going to speak to her. Say she probably thought I was the weirdest guy ever, and certainly her family must have. But I was just like, this is really random, but is that a Birmingham Phoenix training top? She was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, do you play? She was like, yeah. I was like, battle bowl. She was like, oh, I do a bit of both. And yeah, and I say, oh, do you go to Edgbaston? And then the grandpa joined in and was like, oh, yeah, I've been going to Edgbaston for years. And I was like, I used to go with my grandpa, and we talked about some of the old players. And it was just a lovely little conversation that, had I not been sober, Rich, just wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
It was just a lovely little reminder again. Just, if you like, they could have just ignored me and I would have been all right about it, really. But I just thought, let's just try and start a conversation. And I was really pleased with myself, and it was lovely. So she was a Birmingham Phoenix fan in Liverpool. I was like, brilliant. We've got to love a bit of cricket chat. So yeah, from the Japanese knotweed to a nice chat at Park Run. That's been my week, and it's been a good week, but hot, and it's a bit breezier now, which is lovely, especially in my little van, Rich. It's been scorching. So yeah, it's been good, but missed you, mate, because you've been away, and I'm so pleased you've had a good holiday, a good break. Both of you. You completely deserved it, mate.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah, it was really lovely, and it sounds like you've been busy as well, mate. Very busy in the van, and then also, didn't you do your driveway as well? Did I see that?
Je m'appelle Derek Drive.
Isn't it one of those things? It's one of those things, isn't it? Where it's one of those jobs that if you're drinking and you're hungover, especially in the heat, you'd be like, I'm not going to do that job. But to wake up and feel fresh and go, that's a job I need to do. So you get out there and you do it nice and early in the morning.
And we did it. We had some pros in to kind of do all the tidying and all the intricate stuff. But the donkey work of shifting the gravel, Rita and I did that, but the only window I had last week, so it was a busy one with work, was after work on Wednesday, which I think was the hottest day since the creation of man. So I got back from work and I just thought, deep breath, loads of water, got on some dirty clothes, and we just did it. Like, it took us a long time, but we did it. And again, the reward of just having that mindset of, I can do this, I'm not hungover, I don't want to get it done because I'm dying for a pint. We need to do this. Let's just do it. And it's done and it's finished. It's looking great. But yes, it was hot. My God.
Reward yourself with a lemonade. And just going back to what you're saying about the England game, and you enjoyed that game and you got some good sleep, and then obviously that chap that obviously had a heavy night, it's lovely, one, that you can enjoy that game and just have a cup of tea and get some sleep. But also, I would say, full disclosure, by the time we're recording this before England play DR Congo, so and you said we've qualified, so it's possible by the time anyone listens to this, we could be out, couldn't we? So let's hope, if you're listening to this on Friday, that we have beaten DR Congo and we are through to the round of 16. I just thought I'd give that as a disclaimer, Ben. Ben, we always like to read out a listener email or a message from our DM, and this week is no different. And we had a lovely message, and a message that should be celebrated as well, actually. So I'm just going to read it out to you. So this message is from Kelly Harrison, and she messaged on our Instagram. You can find us on Instagram at the Sober Men Pod, and she wrote, "Found your podcast about 10 days ago, and I've been binging them like mad. Keep up the great work. I'm 1 year sober today and in a bloody fab mood." How good is that? That's fantastic, Kelly. 1 year sober. Ben, how do you feel about that?
I'm so happy. Like, anyone who writes in, anyone I know who's even like an hour a week sober or alcohol free, it's like, it just makes me smile. Kelly, that is fantastic. Yeah. Thank you for listening. And that's a complete reminder that, if you're just joining us for the first time, this will be episode 9. There's 18 episodes already up there, loads and loads more exciting ones to come really soon. But we cover everything, and I hope you're getting the vibe that we're just two regular guys. We love to share the kind of ups and downs of our lives, but we're happy souls, and we're certainly a lot bloody happier now we've ditched, the booze, haven't we? And it's lovely that people are joining us. And so, Kelly, well done. Be super proud. That's fantastic.
Thank you, Kelly, for writing in, and welcome to the podcast, and welcome to any other new listeners, and also welcome, as always, to our existing listeners and our existing community. And it's growing nicely. And that being said, Ben, we actually celebrate, we put it on our Instagram, didn't we? Over 3,000 downloads so far we've had on the podcast. So we couldn't be more proud, and we're so glad that you guys that are listening are supporting, and and it's helping, isn't it? And
also, Ben, I get the vibe that people are like spreading the word amongst their, friendship groups and families, and because it's brilliant from zero to that, and we're so grateful, and we can know by the swell of emails and messages to us just how well it's being received. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. And as Ben said, we're just two regular guys. We haven't got it all worked out. We still have our issues and our troubles and life to navigate, but we're doing it with a clear head, without being hungover and drinking, and we're just trying to share those stories. Ben, we always have our regular feature on the podcast, don't we? And for the new listeners, this little feature is about someone that has inspired us, or someone that we find interesting in their sober journey, and it's called In the Frame. So In the Frame this week, Ben, I don't know if you know about this person or whether you knew that they were sober, but this week's In the Frame is Morgan Freeman, actor Morgan Freeman.
Really?
Yeah. It's an interesting one, because I'm going to read this out, and then I want to hear your thoughts on it, because there's a caveat to his sobriety journey, which I thought was really interesting. So Morgan Freeman, he's been sober for, it doesn't give the exact date, but it says for about 50 years, 50 years. Yeah, wow. After quitting drinking in the mid-1970s. And he said that he struggled with alcohol, and it was a problem for him in his early 30s, and he was navigating a really slow, frustrating acting career. And he decided to quit eventually and totally after waking up face down on the floor, and he resolved to take a control of his life. It's very similar to the Anthony Hopkins story, actually. Same sort of time frame and same kind of experience for him. And he later drew on his personal experience of addiction when he played a recovery counselor in the 1988 movie Clean and Sober, which I've not actually seen, but when I read this, I thought that might be a movie that I might search.
Yeah, and put it on the list, Rich.
Yeah, exactly. But I didn't know this either. He suffered a near-fatal car accident in 2008. Now, the vehicle flipped several times on a Mississippi highway, and it left him with shattered bones in his left arm, shoulder, and elbow. And he has chronic pain, which stems from this. So despite having a 4-hour surgery, he never really regained the use of his left hand and developed, now I'm going to try and pronounce this. I practiced before we started, didn't I? And so he developed something called fibromyalgia. Apologies if I've got that wrong, but I think that's how you say it. So basically the core symptoms of that is pain in multiple regions of the body, cognitive impairment, fatigue, joint disorders, all that kind of stuff as a direct result from that trauma. Yeah. Now, here's the interesting bit and the caveat. So even though he's sober and he's alcohol free, he does use medical marijuana to manage the severe pain that he has from this fibromyalgia. So he calls himself California sober. Have you heard that expression before, Ben? California sober?
No,
or
never.
LA sober? Yeah. So basically, it's people
interesting.
Yeah, people that don't drink, but they do use cannabis.
Right.
But he's a big advocate for cannabis and says it's the only thing that takes his pain away. Nothing else.
It's increasingly used, isn't it, by people and prescribed safely by medical professionals as it's a calmer, isn't it? And like if someone's in pain, like he obviously is after that crash, it's like and that works for him. But what I find interesting is that he probably doesn't have that strand of addiction that goes down the narcotics route.
Right.
As I hadn't, for me it was alcohol, and I've never been latched onto that side of life, of addiction. And it's just interesting, isn't it? I wonder if somebody who, did have an addiction with narcotics could still cope with that. Like, is it okay to ask you, Rich? Do you think you could, like, if something like that happened to you, how would you feel comfortable using it if it was helping you?
I don't think I would. I steer clear. Like I definitely steer clear from anything like that has codeine or that kind of that kind of relaxation feeling and stuff because of my program, my 12-step program that I follow is abstinence from everything. Is total abstinence, because for me, being an addict, I don't know where that will lead. Do you know what I mean? It will start there and it might be okay for a beer. It's like having one beer. Oh, I'll have one beer and I'd probably be absolutely fine. But the next time I'd be like, well, I had that one. Maybe I'll have two. And before you know it, you're kind of back in the cycle. So
you know what? Even you just saying that and me thinking about it, it's scary, isn't it? Like I feel scared. Like the thought of having even one beer scares me. Because all this hard work that I'd done, I just wouldn't want it. Like, where would it lead to? It's a really scary feeling. My goodness,
it is a scary feeling, and it's one that I don't ever want to encounter again. But it's good to hear these stories because it reminds us, and that's what we do in sobriety. It reminds us, hearing the war stories as they're called. It reminds you of how life was, and so it's good to remind yourself that you don't want to go back there. But for me, I would personally steer clear of any mind-altering substances, whatever. Excuse me, whatever that might be. It's not for me because I don't know where that will lead, and I don't want to kind of put in my body something that's going to change how I think. So
change your mindset and
But what it does do, it shows, doesn't it, that there is, as we try to explore on the podcast, you and I come at sobriety from two different angles. We meet in the middle, we discuss, and we see what works for us, because it's all personal to oneself. What works for you, what keeps you sober. And I guess for him, his thing with medical marijuana is that alcohol doesn't really have any medical value to it, but he thinks that marijuana does have medical value and can help. So I guess it's a fair point. I don't think that marijuana would help me personally, but it's not something that everyone wants to use or do. But for him, because I guess he's in this chronic pain, and if nothing else helps, I guess it works him. And who are we to argue if that's
well, we've always said, haven't we? It's an individual kind of life we lead. We approach sobriety in different ways, don't we? And we talk about it, and we meet in the middle. But however you approach sobriety, however you want to live if it works for you, then I'm all for that, as long as you're safe and you're looking after, you're protecting yourself. And if it works for Morgan Freeman, then that's fantastic, isn't it? And like we say when we chat, Rich, it's like, you might be listening thinking, oh, what the fuck is Ben going about? Jeez. But then you might pick something up that Rich says, or, I might make a point that you think, oh, actually, I get that from Ben. I get that. So, in this sphere, in this world of sobriety, there's always little nuggets you can pick up, and you don't have to agree with everything. And I think kudos to Morgan Freeman, firstly for being sober for so long. And I bet his career rocketed as a result, and his his ability to make contacts, to be his true self within the film industry, which is it's hard enough navigating the theatre industry, isn't it? I can only imagine Hollywood, but fantastic that he's found something that anchors his life.
Yeah, it's true. And it just shows that like whatever works for you can work for you. So I thought that was an interesting one because it had a nice caveat. So this week, Morgan Freeman in the frame.
I love that choice, old Morgan, and what an actor, my goodness.
Oh yeah.
And I haven't been sort of in touch with you too much because you have been away, Rich, but did you see some of the clips that we put up on the back of our last episode on alcohol and advertising? Like, how interesting.
Yes,
it's been bonkers, hasn't it? The response.
It really, I was, because I had a couple of days because we were at sea for a couple of days, and I thought I'm not going to buy internet, because it was if you wanted to buy internet on the cruise ship, it was $50 a day, $50 a day, and it's not even that great. So I thought, listen,
maybe that's why the guy was pissing with it, holding his t-shirt up. He was just like, sod Wi-Fi. I've got to entertain myself somehow. I'm not paying for Wi-Fi.
Like, they're nicking my money. They're going to nick my t-shirt if I don't hold on to it. So we had a couple of days where we didn't have any. And that was actually really nice, actually, just a total sort of digital detox and stuff. But when I turned my phone on and then you and I chatted again, and the TikTok and the Instagram went off the hook, didn't it? Thousands and thousands of views and comments and stuff. And if you haven't listened to the episode, listeners, please go back and do listen to it. It was about alcohol advertising and how advertising is, and one of the points that we made in the episode was about alcohol-free drinks and the price of them, wasn't it? And I tell you what, it encouraged a huge debate, didn't it, Ben, from both and all spectrums of interest for how much and why things cost this. And do you know what? I've got some messages, actually. Shall we read them out? We'll discuss them.
Well, I found it, it's such varied opinion, and actually a lot of it was really informative and, taught us some stuff, didn't it?
It really did, because obviously on the podcast, we're happy. We're not here to preach and teach. We're happy to be teachable, aren't we? And we can listen to other people's opinions and discuss them. But just a couple of things here. It was so this was about like alcohol-free beers and why they're the same price as regular beer. So this one was from Dan, and it says, it's still the same ingredients on the whole. Alcohol-free beers are either being made by brewing a full-strength beer and ripping out the alcohol, or, more commonly with 0.5% beers, made by using a slow yeast that ferments much slower than beer. So by the time it's brewed, it gets to 0.5%. The yeast is much more expensive to buy in for the brewers. Both of these actually make it more expensive to brew alcohol-free beers, meaning the saving you make on alcohol duty is cancelled out. It says alcohol beer isn't a soft drink, it's a beer. A lot of indie brewers actually have to make less profit on alcohol-free beers compared to normal, as they don't sell well to trade if they're too expensive. So that was quite interesting, actually, quite an interesting insight. And then the other thing we were talking about was, with the alcohol-free beers, that, it's obviously the process is hard to do it. But then we talked about mocktails, didn't we? Like fruit juice, just a load of fruit juice being
glorified fruit juice.
Yeah, but well, I'll tell you what, Ben, that really instilled quite a response from
the mocktail
from
contingent out there.
From Mr. Kuso. He's not happy. So Mr. Kuso, he's a mixologist. So this is his area of expertise, and he was not happy.
The real deal.
So he started with quotation marks going, "It's just a cup of fruit juice." No, it isn't. As a bartender, there is a lot of work that goes into developing mocktails and that feel and taste just like you're drinking an alcoholic drink. And then he goes on to tell me, just order a tonic water and stop complaining. So that was from Mr.
But again, Rich, it's like we're so open, aren't we? We take everything with a pinch of salt.
Of course.
We encourage debate. Like we said at the start of that episode, actually, it's just a good open-ended discussion about a topic that interests us. And, we take everything on board. We take everything. Life's too short to get a bit like heavy about stuff. My goodness. I think we both found that in our lives, haven't we, Rich? But we're genuinely grateful of any response, It's something that, we might agree with, we might not, but it's all learning. It's all good discussion, isn't it?
Yeah. So I can only apologise to Mr. Kuso for me accusing him being a mixologist of just throwing a load of fruit juice in a glass, giving it a shake and saying, "There you go."
The glass of tonic there. It's my grand. She'd just have a tonic with ice. I can. With half a slice of lemon. It was really. I could do one of those tonight. Actually.
Yeah, nice. Tonic water is nice, isn't it?
And raise a little glass to my grand, bless her.
Oh, bless her. I've got one more. This is because there was a lot of talk about the duty paid and the VAT and the tax.
Right.
Yeah, so this is from Ben, and it says tax on a 5% pint is about 60p, including VAT. So if a pub charges £6.60 for a pint of non-alcohol, that is still going to be about £6. So I guess there's not much to choose between it. But I mean, listen, if anyone's interested, please look at our TikTok at the Sobermen Pod, as well as Instagram, and there are literally dozens and dozens and dozens of these messages, and this debate is really interesting, and you can get involved in that. And it was one I definitely replied to as many of them as I possibly could, as you did on the TikTok, Ben. But it was just a really nice and unexpected, because we were just having that conversation about non-alcoholics and the cost of them, and the advertising and that kind of stuff, and it promoted quite a response from people that saw the clip. So thank you to everyone that commented. And listen, we've really enjoyed learning about that, because it was some stuff that we didn't know, and we're happy to be teachable, aren't we, Ben?
Completely, yeah. And also a little reminder that, if there's anything that you want us to discuss that you want to hear our opinions on during an episode, then fire that in as well. The sobermenpod@gmail.com, and DM us at the Sobermenpod on the old Instagramicus and TikTokers as well. And also, a lot of our fans would have seen on TikTok as well, the subject matter of this week's episode. Rich, you've been away, and we thought, timing-wise, this is groovy, baby, because we're going to chat, aren't we, this week about, coping without alcohol, maintaining our sobriety whilst we're away, and everything enveloped in the whole world of holidays and drinking, aren't we? Yeah,
absolutely. No, I thought it'd be a really interesting subject to talk about, and I did a little TikTok video whilst I was walking on the beach in Rhodes.
Rich,
yeah,
you look good, mate.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
The next Bond?
No, it's all in the sunglasses, mate. That's all it is. Take the sunglasses off. I fall away miserably. I just thought it'd be really nice, because obviously going on holiday, it's quite a ritual, and it's very common, isn't it? It's very within our culture. Right, we're going to go on holiday and we're just going to be drinking all day, and cocktails and beers and red wine with dinner and that kind of stuff. And I just thought it is difficult, especially in early sobriety, to protect yourself and look after yourself when you're going on holiday, because that environment can be really dangerous for someone that's wanting to maintain a life of sobriety, when everyone else is drinking and there's drink everywhere. It's restaurants, it's bars, and it's almost encouraged. So I guess we should start at the beginning, when you get to the airport, Ben, isn't it? Because that's kind of where it all starts, isn't it? It's kind of that holiday mindset.
Yeah. And is it a British thing? When we were chatting about this, Rich, is it a British thing where it's like you've got to, whatever time you get to the airport, you've got to start on the booze?
Yeah.
Like, I don't see foreign airports as busy as Gatwick or Heathrow, the bars there, Is it like is it again the British culture thing of, just getting on it as soon as you get to the airport? I mean, the irony is, Rich, I would invariably always be pissed even before I got to the airport.
Yeah. Oh, really?
The number of times I just drink through because like the night before the holiday drinks to like start celebrating the holiday before I even got there. So the number of times I'd turn up, you know, a bit skewiff already, just ridiculous. Again at like 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, feeling like skewiff, a bit out of sorts and rancid. And also I remember not only turning up to go on holiday a bit squiffy, but also turning up, you know, to fly home from somewhere just completely hungover and smashed. Like I remember lucky enough to have toured around the world, you know, shows in Kuala Lumpur and Malta. A couple of occasions just drinking through the night, going straight to the airport, just feeling literally. I remember saying to one of my best mates, Sean, at Kuala Lumpur airport in Malaysia, just don't talk to me. I was in that bad a state, Rich, where again, the shame that we've discussed numerous times, the shame of how am I in this state to fly home, like a 10-hour or so flight back from Kuala Lumpur? Why did I do when I knew the consequences? It's just ridiculous. But also, what makes me laugh is that I do get it that people work all year, don't they, to escape. It's like a little reward. So I do get that they're on it and they want to drink from the word go as soon as they get to the airport. But my point is, for people like you and me, we're kind of, I mean, this is a worldly question, isn't it? What is the norm? Who is normal? What is normal? But for me, I would start my escape from life every night, even at home. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I didn't need a holiday as an excuse to get on it. So again, it goes back to the argument of like, you know, people like you and I who have struggled with alcohol and have issues with it, is that we are all wired and programmed differently. That, you know, there are people who can enjoy a boozy fortnight in Spain because they haven't got, you know, the inbuilt problems and issues that people like you and I may have. So it's very interesting, isn't it? But I swear it's like a British ingrained culture that holiday equals booze. Yeah. Whereas we work our asses off all year, don't we? Millions of people in this country and around the world. So surely a holiday is a chance to reboot, recharge and relax mentally and physically, not just chuck a load of poison in and then stick the blooming sunshine on top of it. It's like a fatal combo.
Yeah, it's true. And is it, I mean, I guess getting to the airport is exciting, isn't it? It's exciting.
Yeah, there's that buzz there. Yeah,
it's that ritual, isn't it? And it's that kind of, that feeling of, right, we've arrived, we've checked our bags in, we're in the restaurant or let's get to the pub and let's have a beer. But you wouldn't get up at 4:30 in the morning on a Tuesday and go and have a beer, would you? It's just like when for some reason, the time doesn't exist, does it, in the airport? It's one of those
time
things.
Time stands still, doesn't it? It's like,
and it's interesting, and I've done it. We've both done it. Got straight to Weatherspoons. You know, give me a pint that costs 11 quid or whatever it is. You know, and then you get a couple down. The gate always showing the gate. Oh, we'll have one more, then we'll go. And before you know it, you know, you're half cut before you get on the flight. I mean, I've had holidays where I've stayed up all night, literally all night, and gone straight to the airport feeling rancid, and then just carried on. And it's awful. But do you think it's sort of the fear that you're not going to have a good holiday if you don't drink? Do you think you're going to feel like you're going to be left out, or that you're going to be accused of being boring, or what do you think that is? It's
a very interesting point, Rich, because I was never worried about feeling left out or isolated from a group of friends or, you know, family that I'd gone away with. And it literally was as simple as, it's just the fucking done thing. Yeah. Yeah. So it's all I can, when I think about it, it's all I can put it down to. And, you know, and there are a couple of occasions as well when I was away and, you know, just, because the drinking's just escalated, isn't it? It's all notched up, gear after gear when you are away. It's like, if you're a big drinker or a quick drinker like I was, it would just be, there was no break at all. There was no recharging there. I was just like, it was almost like there's this window in my life away from the bleakness of my home life where I've got an excuse now to get even more pissed for a week or 2 weeks or for a long weekend. I can remember in previous relationships, I think I was in Bruges, maybe. It was away for a nice weekend, just having like those afternoon pissed arguments. Like,
Yeah.
that's not me in a beautiful city like that. Just
Mm.
fueled by booze, just being pernickety and just arguing. And there was another holiday I went on as well, Rich, where, well, I guess it was a blackout, where just from a lovely evening, again, that ideal of a nice evening, Greek supper, a few cold beers, or maybe a little glass of white wine, to waking up in the morning, my trunks were on the floor, wet, and I was like, "Fuck, it's not me. I didn't get in the pool, did I?" And yeah, my girlfriend at the time said, "Ben, you jumped in the pool, and we were all really worried about you." And I was just like, "What a dick!" Like, that scary blackout.
Yeah,
Just,
because you
mate,
don't know.
I just couldn't remember it. And then the knock-on effect of that, of course, is, you sort of have a little laugh about it at breakfast, like, "Oh yeah, I did that and did that." When the reality is behind that faux laughter, I was just mortified, mate. I'd actually scared myself.
Well, sure, you're putting your safety at risk as well, aren't you? And
Yeah.
that's the danger and stuff.
Just-
And that's the thing, when that excitement takes over and you're in this kind of
Yeah.
exotic location and you introduce
Yeah,
booze and
yeah.
stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's.
What do you
it's
think about, like, did you ever feel a pressure to drink when you first started going away with your mates, or did you think it was almost like the prerequisite, wasn't it?
Mate, to be honest, I was always the one saying, "Come on, let's get on it."
Were you?
I never really felt the pressure to drink because I was always the kind
Like
of
the
like,
instigator,
right,
and
I was always the
like
one
the
going, "Come on,
cheerleader, and
as a yeah." And I look back on that now and I go, "Oh God, Jesus," because that's not, it's not how I live my life now. And I I had those times when I was, and listen, don't get me wrong, I had some amazing times as well. It was had some great
Yeah, of
party times
course,
abroad on
yeah,
holiday.
yeah.
Of course, we must say that because it's not all absolutely tragic. It just became that because we didn't have an off switch, correct?
Yep.
And so I never felt the pressure to drink because it was just, I knew that I was going to drink, party, as soon as, well, like we said, as soon as we get to the airport. And I just think it is a cultural thing, I think, for us as Brits. I think it's what we associate everything with. Having a good time, whether that be even just a wedding or we said it before, or an event, a birthday, a holiday, that's your green light. That's an excuse because it's encouraged, isn't it? Because especially when you arrive if you're on a beautiful island or you're going to Spain or Greece or wherever you're going to go, mate, or a cruise or whatever, you've got all-inclusive holidays, you've got drinks packages, you've got happy hour, you've got all those things that encourages you to consume alcohol. It's just it's within the nature.
You get a glass of prosecco offered to you, don't you, on a reception usually at some hotels, and it's like, oh God, here we go. And now of course you turn that down and you just try and avoid the conversation with somebody who doesn't understand what you're talking about, saying, "No, I'm sober, I'm alcohol free." But it's there, and I was thinking, like, those lads' holidays, I wonder where that kind of inbuilt need to drink starts, because, I was probably going away with my mates, like, mid GCSEs, so like 16, 17, around that age. And it was just like, I remember we played drinking games, drinking out of cereal bowls, like cheap white wine out of cereal bowls. And like, randomly, the guy in the caravan next door, we used to joke he was a John Virgo lookalike. Do you remember John Virgo?
From Big Break.
Hang on, where's the cue ball going? But yeah, and John Virgo would come and join us playing these drinking games. So, he should have probably known a bit better to be encouraging, lads.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I was thinking maybe that's where it starts. That's where the acceptance starts. That first solo, kind of that first experience of traveling abroad, away from your family and your parents, people of responsibility. Maybe that's kind of, again, plants the little seeds of, right, holiday lads equals getting shit-faced. I don't know, it's just a little thought I had.
Well, it's the balance between going and enjoying a glass of wine with dinner on holiday, or going on a lad's holiday and going, well, I know for 3 days I'm going to be absolutely smashed, right? Which is, we've all done it. And listen, again, it was fucking brilliant. I had the best time, right? But it ended in tragedy for me because I couldn't stop it. So I wouldn't condemn. I'm not condemning happy hour. I'm not condemning drinks packages, all inclusives. I'm not condemning that because they are, you know, they're you know, you can, if you're a normal drinker and you can enjoy that and you can just have a few throughout the day, or, you know, a couple in the evening, whatever, that's fine. It might be cheaper for you.
Yeah.
But I guess this conversation is for those people that can't cope with that and want to stop and want to stay stopped and have a problem with alcohol, and that they may be surrounded in that, with that environment whilst they're away on holiday, and they should be able to enjoy a nice holiday without feeling that kind of the magnets of temptation to drag them into the ways they want to steer clear from. So I guess my question would be then, so we need to learn, or how do we learn to relax on holiday without the alcohol? What do we do? Is it sunbathing, reading, swimming, all that kind of stuff? How do we sort of try and get our mindset around that headspace?
Well, I think what sobriety has given me, Rich, is that it's like, because my beliefs and feelings, I'm adamant I'm not going to drink again in my life, are so cemented. I feel lucky that I don't have to fight that voice that could be there of saying, "Oh, go on, you're on holiday, have a drink." You know, I can acknowledge the appeal. I'd say to anyone who's, you know, in early sobriety, just acknowledge that you are going to feel like, "Oh, I'd love a little drink," but then, you know, when I was drinking and thought that, I would end up, you know, blackout, jumping into swimming pools in the middle of the night, ending up with sunstroke, as I've shared before. I can draw, and I think people can draw on how shit that they used to feel when they were on holiday, waking up with a hangover, waking up feeling dreadful. And I think it's okay to acknowledge that. And I quite like that now. It gives me a little confidence boost, weirdly, Rich, of just like, I'd love a drink, but that's not me. I can't do that anymore. It's not right for me. And when you get through that moment, it's kind of weirdly confidence building. It's like, yeah, I'm alcohol free, I'm sober, and I'm on holiday. And, you know, don't be tempted by, you know, you see everywhere, like you just mentioned, Rich, like happy hour, all inclusive. I mean, the irony was, of course, happy hour was probably the least happiest thing I've ever done in my life, because it would just lead to feeling shit.
It's more than an hour.
Yeah, it's more than an hour, and leads to 2, 3, 4 into the next day. Yeah, exactly. It should just be called happy life or something. And it just never was for me. And I just think that if you can, as we've talked about on the pod, if you can take away, almost pack in a little imaginary suitcase with you on holiday, along with your, you know, your Speedos and your flip flops and your sun hats, just your little safety bag of ideas, like. I always take 3, 4 books, just things that I turn to now at home when I might be having a bit of a wobble, because you can still replicate those when you're on holiday. And in fact, it's even more appealing because you're in the sunshine, you're in a lovely environment, you might be away from the office and any work kind of troubles and anxieties. Take a book, and like you took your gym kit. It's okay not to use your gym kit. You've taken it. Yeah. You've taken it, and that's a start. But, you know, a morning walk, like there's beautiful, you know, sunrises and sunsets we can experience on holiday. And when you do come back, you're recharged, you're feeling positive, you're re-energized, you're feeling fucking proud of yourself because you've navigated a sober holiday, and you've got everything that from a holiday that you should do in the first place, which is just feeling stronger, feeling that you've recharged yourself.
Yeah. I agree. It's relaxation is not always intoxication. And listen, it is hard, especially if you're with a group of mates, you know, if you're on a, you know, there's a big family holiday, and like you know, maybe you all have a villa or something, and everyone's sort of drinking around the pool and stuff. Listen, I'm not being blasé about it. It is hard, isn't it? But you said 2 things there that are of interest to me in particular. The first one is you will find yourself seeing someone with a drink and thinking, oh, that does look nice. I had and I'm 5.5 years sober, right? Yeah. And I'm lucky now because those moments are fleeting, and I can look beyond, which I never did before. I would live in.
That's the key, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just
I
fast
would live
forward, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, I would live too much in the moment and go, oh, I'll do it now and I'll worry about it later instead of thinking ahead. I was in the buffet restaurant, and at the back of the buffet restaurant, there's all like the coffee machines, the tea machines, that kind of stuff. And there's a bar there as well. And behind the bar, you have to ask for a takeaway cup to make your tea. I'd also say a cup of tea, and we go to bed. And, I mean, me and Jem were getting into bed at 9:30. It was just incredible. I really enjoyed it, right? But I would go and ask the bartender for a takeaway cup. And there was a guy that was being served before me, and he was ordering a dark rum and Coke. And the waiter was making it, and it looked like any ice, and it was like lemon, and I looked at it.
The ice was seducing you.
Yeah, and it looked wonderful, and like the condensation on the glass and everything. And I looked at it, and as it was poured, it was put in front of him. And I looked at it and I was like, oh, that looks so nice. It looks so, so nice. And there was me waiting to ask for a takeaway cup to make a cup of tea. Now, in itself, that sounds like, oh, poor you, Rich. Oh, God, that's not like he's having a lovely drink and you're having to have a cup of tea. But no, I had that moment of 5 seconds of going, that looks lovely. But then immediately I knew, but tomorrow morning I'm going to wake up. It's going to be 32 degrees and blazing sun. And I know that one sitting at the bar would not have been one. I'd have been drinking till 2 a.m. And
can you imagine how shit you would have felt, mate?
Yeah, I would have felt absolutely horrific the next day, because for me, and I'm presuming many of our listeners, we can't just have that one. It just that doesn't work for us. So I was able to then go, can I have my takeaway cup? Made my cup of tea. Me and Jem sat on the back deck watching the sea and the little sunset, and then we went to bed.
That's a wicked point, actually, Rich. Because like in the past, after a day by the pool, hopefully achieving my 25-meter badge, just getting pissed on the balcony, of course. The linens are on, the drinks are out, getting pissed, but you can still enjoy that time, that lovely. I'm on a honeymoon as well. We went to Greece as well, and just waiting for Ree to get ready. Instead of just necking the beers, I was like really got into like my little bowls of like local crisps and snacks. So I was still in the same place, but just getting a different pleasure, but also just. Instead of like watching a beer guzzle down my neck, watching the boats, watching people head out for their evening meals, just being in that peace and calm again. And it's doable. And like you say, like who wants to wake up on a holiday? The thought now waking up hungover on a holiday in that heat just fills me with absolute dread. So actually it was lovely to, when we went away on honeymoon, just to really enjoy it without booze, and like you say, getting into bed early, it's okay, and waking up fresh and going for that nice little, really enjoying the thought of that first morning coffee and stuffing your face at breakfast, as opposed to literally I remember itching for that first drink around the pool at 11 o'clock most days when I was boozing.
No, it's true.
And then you lose focus of why you're there. You lose focus of your loved ones. You're not being open to what your partner or wife might want to be doing for the day, or it's such a selfish existence, actually. Actually, going back to the whole holiday experience, Rich, starting at the airport, I wouldn't worry of like, what actually do we need to get from Boots, or I can help with the luggage, and I'd be huffing and puffing. I'd be like wanting to get to the bar. That was the only focus. Instead of thinking, what does my partner want to do when I'm on holiday, and my wife, it would be like just selfish behavior. Like, I just want to drink. I just want to drink. And that's not good, is it? That's not good husband material or partner material, I don't think. So that just came into my mind, that it was just holidays for me were selfish because it was just right. It's a fucking drink fest.
It's an excuse, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, and that's, you want to be present for your wife, your family. Of course, that is a lot more difficult if you're on a group holiday with friends and everyone's doing the same thing, because then you don't feel like you're being selfish because everyone is doing it. And that's what makes it tricky. And the other thing you said was really interesting, and a point well made, was having a plan, having a little like metaphorical suitcase of things that's going to keep you safe. Like, work out, okay, what am I going to drink on this holiday? If someone has a beer, okay, I'll have a ginger beer, or I'll really get into my Coke Zero or something, or having, like a virgin pina colada, or something that is it's about, I would say, finding new rituals. Like, because if you start thinking, or that one, that voice, that one won't hurt. Oh, one will probably be okay. But it's kind of recognizing that voice, knowing that it will be around and you're going to look at it and probably go, oh, that would be really nice, but not believing what that voice is saying to you, because learning to know where that's going to lead if you do have that one.
And it's remembering the hard work you've done already pre-holiday on your sobriety, on all that hard work that you've done in making yourself feel better aesthetically, physically, mentally. And and it's just like, it's time to like grab a Coke Zero, grab a Zero beer and just give yourself a little pat on the back. And it's like seeing a situation, isn't it? And acknowledging it, but you've given yourself the tools and you've already done a lot of the homework before the holiday, and thinking, the best result I'm going to get is if I just move on from this feeling and, wake up feeling fresh.
And again, as you said there, putting steps in place before you go, knowing that, you want to have a sober holiday and you don't want to drink, and having your process of things that you've put in place to protect yourself so you feel fresh and you enjoy that holiday. I don't know, there may be a juice bar and you go, do you know what? Instead of it's 11 a.m. I'm going to crack my first beer.
For my juice.
I'm going to walk to that juice bar every day at 11. I'm going to have my juice, or 2 o'clock, have an ice cream, whatever works for you. My suggestion would be do that.
I think if you're going away with a group of friends, or you had a stag when you were sober, didn't you, Rich? And there's no harm, is there, in just, if there's a stag or a hen WhatsApp group, just saying, somebody putting in there like, oh, by the way, Ben is alcohol free.
Yeah.
Do you think that would help somebody? You obviously you're away with close buddies for yours, but maybe that's a little device some people can use just so it's out there and there's no pressure. So people have kind of got you back as well.
As time moves on, I think friends they really appreciate and they respect that you're alcohol free. I went on a holiday last year. It was a wedding, actually. A friend of mine got married and there was like probably 30, 40, maybe even 50 people at this wedding. And there was a load of us staying in this big villa on this estate. And there was a whiskey tasting night. And the guy that was doing the whiskey tasting, he knew that I was alcohol free, and he'd organised a succession of alcohol free whiskies so I could be involved. And it was coupled with a piece of specific cheese. And so everyone would try their next whiskey, and I'd have my next non-alcoholic whiskey, and it was coupled with some bread and cheese and stuff. And it was, I was so grateful. I was like, mate, honestly, I would have been happy just to watch and enjoy you guys trying it. Honestly, it was not a problem for me, but he'd included me. And so I think eventually,
lovely.
honestly, Grant. So shout out to Grant. Thank you so much for doing that again. But it was wonderful. And I think it's knowing you sometimes you need to get to a place where you've said no enough to people that they then go, oh, we respect it, we understand it, and that can be difficult, as we said, with friends and stuff. But having those plans in place, knowing and being strong, and also, I think, listen, it's expensive. Holidays are expensive, and obviously, if you've got a family, an all-inclusive is the sensible thing to do, isn't it? Because you've got the kids can, if they have pizza and chips and they leave it, it doesn't matter. If you've ordered them pizza and chips and you're a la carte and you go, I've spent €25 on that, you're going to eat it. You know what I mean? But also, what comes along with the all-inclusives is obviously access to the bar continuously, right? So I was talking about this with Jem, and we were saying that maybe a half board option for some people may be better, because you'll get your breakfast and you'll get your dinner and you get your paninis at lunch, whatever. But included in that half board option won't be the alcohol. You're going to have to pay for it. Do you know what I mean? So maybe it's just little things like that can maybe help, because a sober holiday is a gift. It really is, to be able to remember and really appreciate and feel fresh. And when you're hot from the sun, you're just hot from the sun. You're not hungover and dehydrated from drinking. It is difficult. I do understand that.
And how many people do we hear say when they come back from holiday, like, oh, I need another holiday after that? It's like, well, what's the point of going in the first place? It's a sober holiday. It's blissful. You can properly recharge your mind and your body. And if you can take a few things, just a few little devices to get you through. Like, enjoy some music, like download your favorite podcasts, and take some good books. Another irony, Rich. I remember, gosh, I was going through a really tough period in my life. I thought it'd be, it's just a joke, really, to go on a solo holiday. Oh no, I'm cool. I just want a bit of downtime to myself, and take some books. And mate, it was just another excuse for me I just wanted to escape from my existence even further under the guise of a cool, sorted solo holiday. It was nothing. It was such a lonely experience in hindsight. Just sat in a bar. It was like all inclusive. The food was shit. The beer was cold, but it was shit beer. And thinking about it, just looking in the bar at night, just people like me, just like sad, lonely drinkers.
Yeah.
And it's awful. And the joke was, during that holiday, I read Elton John's autobiography, and he, delves brilliantly into his addictions and his realization that he had to be clean and sort himself out. And there's me reading that, knowing that, God, I've got to do something, but knowing even then that I've got to sort myself out. And then at 6 o'clock, just going to that bar and sitting by myself, pretending I was sorted and desperately lonely, desperately unhappy. And, but then now, because I have sorted myself out, I mean, I don't think I'd go on a solo holiday again because I'd miss like Rita too much and the girls. And, but say if Rita was away working and I, had some time away from work myself, I could take myself off for a week. 'Cause I'd be so happy. I'd take a bag of books and drink all the coffee, soak up all the sun, get those freckles out, end up even looking even more like Boris Becker when my eyebrows turn ginger in the sunshine, and really appreciate it because I've done the work. And I think that however much work you've done, if you're going on holiday, just keep hold of that when you are feeling a bit wobbly-dobbly, because you'll get so much from that break. You'll come home, people are like, God, you look good. And you'll be like, hey, thank you. But inside, up here, that's the main, you'll be recharged and so proud of yourself.
Wouldn't it be interesting now, considering we worked out in the sun, didn't we, you and I, on a cruise ship, and our process then was getting drunk together. That was our thing.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be an interesting case study now if you and I went on a holiday to Crete for a week? What that holiday would be like? What we would do if we made a list of all the stuff we did because we weren't drinking? I bet it would, because literally when we were out working together, it would be like, do the show we were in, go to the bar. That was it. Now, I reckon we'd have pages of things that we'd got up and done in the day.
Can somebody, if anyone's got any contacts at Channel 5 or anywhere, can somebody commission us to do this travel show?
Oh, I'd love to do that.
Rich, I guarantee, this isn't being stupid, I guarantee we would have eons more fun than we used to. We would have great conversations, great arguments, differences of opinion.
Yeah,
but that's so it would just be a fantastic. I would love to. Right, I've got a suitcase there. I'm going to pack it. We'll be off. I'll see you at Gatwick in half an hour.
We just pitched ourselves a TV show there. So Channel 5, we're available. We're available.
Rich and Ben, the sober men, on their travels.
On tour, yeah.
It would be lovely because we'd embrace those walks, embrace the coffee, and also there'd be no pressure from either of us to do anything. And sometimes that's the tough thing. Like when you're on a lad's holiday or a girl's holiday, the pressure to drink, the pressure to do whatever the general consensus is. So I'd love that.
Oh, mate, it'd be amazing. And also it'd be like, well, we'd be able to drive as well, because neither of us would be intoxicated. So as we always say though, so we would never tell anyone what to do. If it is the summer, and if any of our listeners are going abroad and they are concerned, if it was you and I, Ben, if we were talking to each other saying, well, suggestions of how to look after ourselves, so it would be, have a plan before you go, like what you're going to drink, how you're going to answer any questions, how you're going to protect yourself when you're out there, finding new rituals like an 11 o'clock ice cream or a mid-afternoon juice bar visit, that kind of stuff. Maybe steer clear of all inclusives if cost is okay and you can afford it, and not put yourself in a situation where you are in massive temptation. Maybe try having early nights, don't stay out too late. Would they be sort of reasonable suggestions to make, would you say?
Very reasonable and very practical as well.
Yeah,
Just
no, I agree.
practical things that you can just pop upstairs, pop in your grey matter when you arrive at the airport, and guarantee the joy of remembering a holiday. You'll be refreshed and remember all of it, which is wonderful.
Well, that's true. It's fine, like you said, it's finding that peace and not feeling like you need another holiday, because you're not on holiday from recovery. You're on holiday with recovery, because you're not going to say, oh, I'm not going to brush my teeth for 2 weeks. I'll do it when I get back. You're not going to just go, oh, well, I'll just drink for 2 weeks. Do you know what I mean? Like it's about being consistent. And I think, well, I know when you come back from that holiday and you haven't drunk, you're so proud of yourself as well. And you're allowed to kind of be proud of yourself, I would say.
And if you get through all your books you've taken away on holiday, you could always try having a piss holding your T-shirt up. What the hell? Yeah. Give that a go.
yes. And of course, as always, some people can go on holiday, have one or two. For those people that are like myself and you, Ben, it's not possible. So
there are some people who can go away and get shit-faced every night and bounce back the next day and not have the anxiety, the doom, the depression. Good luck to them. But again, that wasn't me. I was far from that. I wish I was, but no.
So what we're saying is that you can have a wonderful, fulfilling, relaxing holiday and still be sober in whatever capacity. And maybe it's a question that one should ask themselves. If you think you're not strong enough to get through that, bigger picture here, maybe it's better to miss that holiday and do it when you're feeling a bit stronger. I know everyone needs a holiday and a break, but bigger picture here, you're thinking about your health, your mental health and your physical health. Maybe just give that one a skip.
That is a great point. It's the same with anything happening, at home, during your home life. If you can feel like a little bit of anxiety, like I'm not sure if putting myself in this predicament is going to be good for me, don't go.
Yeah.
Don't go. People understand. Don't do it to yourself. I think that's a really good point, Rich.
Yeah, look after yourself. Obviously difficult if you've promised the kids a holiday or that kind of stuff, but it's about protecting yourself consistently and continuously. And I feel that's very important. Another good conversation today, Ben.
A really good conversation. If you watch on YouTube, look at Rich. Look how good he looks after his holiday. So refreshed and fine. You know what? Whilst we're on here, are you 5.5 years sober?
5.5 years sober, mate. Yeah.
You know what? I was going to look on my app, but I've just dropped my phone. So I think I must be 3 years, 2 months now. So isn't it funny? But well done, mate. And I'm so glad you had a lovely honeymoon. You both deserve it.
Mate, bless you. And congratulations on your sobriety journey too. And congratulations to anyone listening that is either an hour, a day, a week, a year, however many years. Listen, we're all in this together. We're one big community and we're all here to support each other.
So, Rich, that was a great chat. And I've got a nice little drink of the week. Do you want to hear about it with our drink of the week? So you might have noticed throughout the episode, I've been sipping my little cup of tea here. Really getting into my tea at the moment. And so we got a lovely wedding present. It was like a hamper, like a food hamper. We got married last September. And in it was this lovely tea. It's called Pluckley Tea. I'm going to hold it up there.
Oh, Pluckley Tea.
Yeah, look at that. What a nice,
lovely.
Nice branding. So it's from the Kent and Sussex Tea and Coffee Company. Now, listen, I love my coffee. But this is a lovely tea. It's kind of rich. It's a strong blend of tea from Assam and Kenya. Basically, it's the third generation of tea makers. It's the Smith family. 2 generations before them planted tea and made tea in northeast India. So they've come home, and since 1982, they've established the Pluckley Tea, the Kent and Sussex Tea and Coffee Company. I had a little look on their website, which is www.tea/and/coffee.com. Give them a look. They've got matcha teas. Is it rooibos tea?
Rooibos.
Yeah. Or was it iced tea? No, wasn't he a rapper in the 80s? I think it's rooibos tea, white tea. They've got a great selection, over like 70 varieties of coffee beans as well. So hop on their website, the Kent and Sussex Tea and Coffee Company. It's a lovely cuppa. It's like properly strong, rich blend of tea.
Oh, I love that.
I had one after work today, and I've had one during the pod. So give that a go, Rich. I know you like your teas as well.
I do.
And also go on the website because they'll do. I might hop on and get some of their coffee as well. But yeah, established in 1982 on the return of the Smith family to England after 2 generations of tea planting in northeast India. So give it a go. Pluckley tea. It's a rich, strong, traditional tea, and especially in this warm weather, completely thirst quenching. There we go. Pluckley tea, this week's drink of the week.
And also, Ben, they say, I read that having a hot drink when the weather's hot is actually better and more refreshing and more hydrating for you because it's actually it's working in conjunction with your body temperature. So I don't know how much truth there is in that.
No, I think you're right. Because when I used to play cricket, you'd have a pot of tea during your cricket tea and be like, I'd be like, it's bloody balmy out there. Why are we having tea? And somebody would say, it's good. It does quench your thirst. So, but it does. So yeah. That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, hydrating as well as being, nice
hydration
and refreshing,
for the nation. I'll still shit at cricket, but have a nice cup of tea anyway.
Mate, it's been lovely chatting to you as always today on Rich and Ben, the Sober Men, the podcast. And as we said, please write in with any things you wanted to discuss and any of the things that we talked about on the podcast at thesobermenpod@gmail.com. And obviously follow us on YouTube, like, subscribe. Please do all that lovely stuff because it makes us be able to reach more people and continue to have these wonderful conversations. Isn't that right, Ben?
Sure is, Ricardo. We've got 2 amazing episodes lined up for you. We're going to be introducing our first guest. The podcast will be revealed very soon, so keep an eye on the socials. We're so happy. We're so excited. And I think we're just generally excited anyway, aren't we, Rich? And welcome home, mate.
Thank you very much, mate. It's lovely to see you. We're back in the fray. We're back working. And we'll see you on the next episode.
Right, Rich, I'm just off to put the bins out. I've got to find my way through the Japanese Knotweed first, so wish me luck.
Enjoy.